Hey everybody, Jackie here. So I just wanted to make a quick little video before tonight's season 5 finale. I am so excited. Just to talk about last minute theories, some top A suspects, and just predictions for the finale. Now I know if you believe the Daisygate spoilers, which, if you don't know them, basically they predicted everything that seems to be happening in this finale. And so if you believe them, then it seems like there's really not going to be much of a reveal that we're getting tonight. We're just going to find out this clue where the girls assume that A's name is Charles. Now, to me, if that's all we're getting, that really proves nothing. Because look, just because the girls stumble across the name Charles doesn't mean A's name is Charles. Charles could be someone important to A, their boyfriend. Some people theorize that Charles is Allison's baby. Like, we don't know for sure that A is named Charles. There's no way to prove that. We don't even know for sure that A is a man. Like, it's pointing towards A being a man recently, but that almost makes me think even more that A is a woman. And perhaps they just have a family member, a boyfriend, something like that, and we're being misled. Because to me, A's always felt like a woman. I don't want A to be a man. I would be disappointed if A was a man, because really, none of the men would make me totally happy. But I'll talk about this in a minute. So I still think that there has to be something more than just this Charles clue. I'm saying clue with air quotes because, like I said, I think it could be misleading. So I feel like there has to be something more that we're getting. And especially because Marlene is saying that after this finale, oh, everything will click into place. We'll have everything we need. It'll make perfect sense. So I don't feel like that's enough. I mean, finding out Charles doesn't mean anything to me. Like, that does not help me whatsoever with the theory. Like, I think there has to be something huge, and when we see it, we'll just be like, oh, I get it now. And I feel like the name Charles is not nearly enough. Like, we don't know anyone named Charles who has ties to the name Charles. It has no real relevance. Like, it doesn't help us at all. So I feel like there has to be something more to it than that. Alright, so first off, let's just go through my top A suspects before this finale. Now, there are so many people where if they were A, I would be so disappointed. So these are the people who I just think they could be A, and if they were, I wouldn't be really disappointed, or I would even be happy for some of them. Now, if you guys know me, you've seen my videos, you know that Bethany is A is my big theory. Like, I'm going to believe in that theory till it's totally proven wrong. Like, until I know for sure that A is someone else, I think A is Bethany. I really believe she could be twins with Toby, and even if she's not, there are so many different paths they could go with Bethany's motivation. Like, we know so little about her, and to add to that, the fact that we know so little about her is suspicious. We saw a stock photo of Sarah Harvey, who was only mentioned in one episode, yet we haven't seen a photo of Bethany. All we've heard is her voice, and voices can be altered. They can sound different on recordings than they do in real life. Like, we know so little about this girl. Is Bethany even her real name? I don't think so. Like I said, ever since I first heard it, I thought Bethany Young sounded like a fake name. To me, it just sounded like something someone would make up. And so I feel like the fact that we know so little about this girl is also suspicious. And I feel like if she was revealed as A, that would definitely give them lots of paths to go, and we could have a whole nother story as we find out more about Bethany, and then as the girls kind of have to come face to face with secrets and things they didn't know. And, the whole finding out that Toby has a twin sister, if that's what, that would be a game changer, especially if Toby doesn't remember having a twin, which I think he very well could. And I just feel like Bethany being A for any reason could just really be good. Whether she's twins with Toby, I think she could have been burned in the Jenna thing. If she's Toby's twin or not, maybe if they're not related, she had some other reason to be there, and she was burned. A lot of people think A is somewhat disfigured. And like I have said many times before, Marlene is saying that we're going to feel sympathy for A. Look, I don't care what this person has been through. I don't care if they've been disfigured. I don't care if they lost a family member. I don't care. Unless you are so mentally unstable, you do not realize that this is wrong. I do not feel sorry for you. We've all hurt. We've all had bad things happen to us. We do not go psycho and ruin the lives of people. Like, you just don't do that. That is so wrong. So unless this person has mental problems and they don't realize this is wrong, I'm not going to feel sorry for them. I don't care what sob story they give. If they are mentally stable, I don't care. Like, I've lost people I care about, and, you know, it hurts, but I would never go take revenge on people for it. Like, that doesn't help. I would not feel pity for them. I don't care. So unless they're crazy, I feel no sympathy. That's just how it is for me. I don't know, maybe you guys would. Maybe if someone was severely bullied, or, I don't know, Allison killed their twin or something, maybe you would feel bad for them. I wouldn't, unless they're crazy. I would not feel bad. Because I feel like you should just know better. So I definitely want it to be Bethany. That would just make my life. And, you know, I get to say I told you so to all the people out there who were like, Bethany is not A, I don't know what you're talking about. I could be like, I told you so, I knew it, I was right, and, you know, who doesn't like that? But mainly I think it would just be a great story. There's so many possibilities, and I know they said that after this, we're going to go down a different road, and I feel like that's kind of an opening to explore new things, and there's just lots of possibilities, you know. Bethany, like I said before, we could actually see her as A in this finale without knowing that it's Bethany, and that could kind of be the question we're left with, like, well, who's that girl who is A? Since we don't know exactly where Bethany is, the new storyline could be the girls trying to find her. It could be all sorts of different things, and I just think there's so many storyline possibilities. And, you know, I've talked about this so many times before, so I guess I'll just move on. You know how I feel about Bethany being A. And that would be great. I would love that. I would have no complaints, really. As long as, I would be disappointed if she was Allison's twin, especially considering that Bethany is supposed to be 19, maybe 20 by now, I'm not really sure. And Allison's what, like 17? I think she's 17, almost 18, so that would make no sense. Like, they're not the same age. Toby's the only person the same age as Bethany, and that's kind of why I always thought they were twins, because, you know, we were told there is a twin. And I feel like that has to be Bethany having a twin, since we've never seen her face. And so I would just be disappointed if it's an Allison twin, because that feels so much like the books. I really feel like the twins could be fraternal, since the books are identical. You know, Toby and Bethany, they would be fraternal, since they're a boy and a girl. And I was going to say something else, and I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I remember now. We know that this A story, there's a twin somewhere thrown in there. If you believe Sasha and Min, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name. The actress who plays Jenna. And if you believe them, there's a twin sister, I believe one of them said. And so Marlene just said in an interview, I believe it was with Entertainment Tonight, that all roads lead back to Allison and her family or to Radley. A has to connect to, I believe it has to connect to Allison's family. They definitely have to go back to Radley. I mean, Mrs. De Laurentiis was on the board, and Marlene said that the death of Toby's mother ties back into this. And Bethany is like the one person where I can think of a clear connection between her and each of these things. I can think of a theory that I believe is sound and that would connect her to all these things, that would put all the pieces together and tie up the loose ends, if you will. I mean, with other people, like, I could think of a connection to this one thing, but I can't think of something else. A lot of the mother stuff is tripping me up. Like, some of my other suspects, like, I feel like they would make sense, but I have no idea how they would relate to the mother storyline, like Toby's mother's death. I have no idea how they would tie back to that. So Bethany kind of just, she makes sense to me all the way around. And I think it's gotten to the point where if A isn't Bethany, I'm gonna be disappointed. I am. I mean, it wouldn't be, like, I'd keep watching probably, but I would be a little sad because I love this theory and I've invested so much time in it, and I know there's a couple, like, iffy parts, but I just really love it, and I think that would be the best story, and it's what I would do if I was Marlene. Alright, I ended up talking about this way longer than I thought. I need to speed it up. Alright. I think Cece is definitely a helper, not A, but maybe, like, A team. I know Marlene said that A is acting alone, but I don't think that means there's no team. Like, I think there could still be a little helper, but I think she meant there's one A, one person in charge, not two, one. I still think there could be an A team. I mean, maybe not, but I think it's kind of weird how one person could do this all by themselves, and we know there was a team before, like with all the dark hoodies and stuff, so I feel like there still has to be a team to some degree. And so I still think Cece could be a helper. She's kind of just sketchy. she is really quick to point the finger at somebody else. You know, she blames Paige, and she blames Melissa, and she blames Wilden. And so I feel like she could be kind to divert suspicion. And she just seems like a little shady to me, the whole wearing the yellow top that night. You know, is she really Allison's friend? Is she not? She could have possibly killed Wilden. And I believe we only have Allison's word for it. So it could have been Cece on orders from A. And if Bethany is A and she's Toby's twin, she would want Wilden dead because Wilden did the cover-up of Marion's murder. So if Bethany's A and related to Toby, that's the reason she would want Wilden out of the way. Just sidebar. Just saying that. I need to stop talking about Bethany being A. I love that theory. I need to move on, though. Okay, so, alright. So I think Cece could be a helper. I don't think she's A, big A. Could she be A-team? Yes. I mean, I guess she could be big A, but that would be disappointing for me. I hope not. And Aria. Okay, so I really don't think they're going to go in the direction of one of the girls being A. I feel like there could be so much backlash they wouldn't want to risk that. But if it's any one of the girls, or one of the love interests even, I feel like it has to be Aria. I've seen lots of theories that make so much sense. If she's crazy, she could tie back to Radley. There was that whole scene where Eddie Lamb recognizes her in Radley, and I just feel like it could be possible that Aria had a mental illness. And again, the only way I'd feel bad for A is if they're crazy, like I said. So if Aria had a mental disorder, that would be okay by me. That would, like, you know, I would sympathize with her if she's not in her right state of mind. And so I feel like Aria could be A. I've seen lots of great theories. I used to be a big Aria is A believer. I still think that if they go that direction, which I doubt, then it's probably Aria. I would not be opposed. I would be okay with that. I mean, again, a little disappointed that it's not Bethany, but I would be okay with Aria. I guess Aria is like my number 2 choice, yeah. And again, though, the one thing I really cannot think of how she would connect to Toby's mother at all. Unless she was in Radley at that time. Maybe she was the fragile patient. Maybe she pushed her, but I have no idea why she would do that. An interesting thing is Dr. Palmer tells Toby to tell his mother, stay away from the blonde girl, and he comments about the air, the heaviness of air on Toby's mother, and then the air on the blonde girl. And Aria means air in Italian. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. So, yeah, doubt they're going to go that way, but they could. It could be Aria. I would not be surprised. I'd believe it. I'd be okay with that. Just doubt they're going to go that way. Now, I only really have one main male suspect, and that's Wren. I would be kind of bummed if it was Wren, because he's hardly ever in the show, but it would kind of make sense. I think Wren could have been the guy that Allison was sleeping with at Cape May. That's Beach Hottie, right? Because Ezra's board shorts, and then there's Beach Hottie, who she was sleeping with, and she thought he got her pregnant. Maybe he actually did. I know you guys think that Charles DeLaurentis could be Allison's baby, which, you know what? That would be kind of interesting. It would make sense timeline-wise. Like, she would have been early in her pregnancy when she left, and not, like, visibly, like, showing, so no one would have known. So it could make sense. And Wren does show interest in younger girls. I think he's definitely sketchy. Like, on the police score, they refer to him as Dr. Kingston. What is he not really a doctor? And his volunteering at Radley, he just pops up in interesting places. And the way Mona talked to him in season 3, I haven't watched his episode yet in my rewatch, but I know she was saying, like, now I know where your real loyalties lie, or something like that. And that was just so weird. Like, did Wren double cross her? What does that mean? So I really don't think he's big A. He could be. I would not be surprised. Maybe he's A-team, because I feel like there's got to be something more to Wren. I feel like he has a hidden agenda, possibly. Don't really think he's A, though, due to his lack of screen time. And, you know, I feel like he doesn't really have a personal vendetta against the 4 girls. Like, maybe if he's Allison's baby daddy or something, that's why he's going after her, or something like that, or they slept together, or whatever. But why would he go after the girls then? They didn't do anything. They would have no involvement. Unless he just got so obsessed with power that he decided to do it. But, like, that would not make me feel sorry for him. So, I doubt it. I mean, it could happen. I think he's my only male suspect. Like, none of the other guys. Well, no. Actually, I could kind of see Lucas. Again, lack of a strong motivation, I think. I think he has a reason to hate Allison. The other girls, I don't really know as much. Like, they didn't really protect him, except for Hannah a little bit, but like, that's not really enough to me. Just because though, like, of the German thing, we talked about this before, that was really interesting, I think. But, you know, I highly doubt it's either of them. But if A is a man, which I hope not, then I would say Wren. But, you know, I hope it's not a man. To me, A's always been a woman, in my mind. And, let me see. I could see Toby or Jenna being A, but I don't want them to be. I mean, I would get it because of the Jenna thing, which is, you know, the worst thing the girls have ever done. That is a clear motivation. And, you know, I could see why someone would want to get back at somebody for that. Like, they blinded Jenna and they ruined Toby's life. Like, I would never forgive them, personally. I don't think I would. I would definitely never forgive Allison. The girls, I don't know. But, so, you know, it would make sense, but I would be bummed just because they seem like such clear choices. Like, it's obvious, you know, why they would want to be A. And, you know, obviously I love Toby. He's my second favorite character. Go Spoby, Team Spoby, all the way. So that would bum me out. I would be devastated, heartbroken, like on the floor in tears if Toby was A. Like I said before, though, if he was A with Spencer, that would be badass. But that's obviously not going to happen. It wouldn't make any sense. But, you know, in my head, that's how it would work. It just wouldn't make any sense, though, because they've talked about A plenty of times when they were alone. So that wouldn't make sense. But you know what? It would have been badass. Just saying. I think it would. I don't know why, because I'm saying, I would never feel bad for this person unless they were crazy, but if it was Spencer and Toby, I'd be like, yeah, I'd forgive them. Like, you know, I don't know why. I just think that would be cool. So, but anyway, that's obviously not going to happen. So I do not want him to be A. I mean, yeah, I could see why. I feel like Toby's just, his life has been terrible. He's been hurt. He has clear reasons to want revenge. Do I want that to happen? No, I don't. I do not want that to happen. And like I said, I think making one of the liars or a love interest be A would just rock the boat way too much. And I don't think they'd want to take that risk. Like, if Toby ended up being evil, or hypothetically, like, Caleb or Ezra or something, there's really no one for the girls to fall back on that's as popular, you know? Those are the ships that, like, the fandom collectively loves. Like, you see so many people love Spoby, so many people love Ezra, so many people love Caleb. So I don't think they would, like, risk pissing off such large portions of their fan base. And again, if it was one of the liars, that would rock the boat even more. Like, I know lots of people would love it and lots of people would hate it, and I don't think they'd take that risk. Alright, so those are kind of just my suspects going into this finale. I really hope it's Bethany. I feel like it has to be Bethany, or someone connected to her at least. I feel like Bethany has to have more relevance to this. And I would love if she was A. That would make my life. I would be so happy. That would just be the best thing ever. And I'm just trying to think of anything else I wanted to say. I guess not. I think that's a good thing to talk about going into the finale. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I didn't write it down. So you know what? Too bad. I'm not going to say it then. I don't remember. If I think of it, I'll like put it in the comments or something. So, you know. And yeah, alright, this isn't what I was thinking of, but I also wanted to mention this. Thank you all who submitted questions for my Q&A video. I'm not going to make it just quite yet. I think I'm going to save it for a couple weeks from now when everyone's starting to go through PLL withdrawal and there's not really anything for me to make a video about. So I'm going to wait a little while and then post it after the season is over, when there's a lapse in videos, so you guys can enjoy that then. You can keep submitting questions. Just go to my video entitled Important Announcement and put it in the comments. You can also send me a message on Tumblr. Just make it clear that it's for the Q&A video. My Tumblr is caroseprincess.tumblr.com, or you can send it to me on Twitter, and I'm Carose Wilson on Twitter, @CaroseWilson. Both of those are Grey's Anatomy references. Kudos to you if you knew that. So yes, that will be up in a couple weeks. I'm so happy that I'm actually getting questions. That's awesome. And please keep sending them in and just make them appropriate. That's all I ask. Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow with the big recap of the PLL finale. I'm so excited and I hope we get some really good stuff tonight. Alright guys, please comment, tell me your theories for the finale, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!